Hello everyone. In this video I will discuss the uses of Blackboard Learn reports. Blackboard reports provide information such as how many times a student clicks on content within your course, how long each student spends in your course, and the last time they submitted work within your course. Within Blackboard Learn, in your course, to be able to go in and review a report, what you're going to do is in the menu on the left hand side, you're going to scroll down underneath the control panel, expand the evaluation, and underneath evaluation you have the option of course reports. So I'm going to click on course reports. Alright. When you go to run course reports, they're basically the same setup for all the reports that you're going to be using. You give it a start and end date to search for within the course. You tell it what students you actually want to run the reports for, and then you run the reports. So what I'm going to do is kind of break down the different options for the different reports. On the first report, all user activity inside content areas. Now a content area would be an area where you've actually added folders or modules within your course. So for an example, a content area would be the learning modules content, or just plain content if you didn't rename it when you set up your course. So if you want to go in and you want to run a report, I'm going to go into the drop arrow, or what they call the chevron next to the heading, and I'm going to go into run. Alright, now there's different formats that you can use as the final report, so I can go into the drop arrow here, and some of them will give you options to do HTML or Excel or Word, depending on what the format is. And then you usually go in and set the start and end date of when the start of the date of the course. So in this case I'm going to go in and grab January 1st and just leave it as June 16th as the end date. Now if you get the option of selecting users, if you get a list like this, it means you can select more than one user. So what you can do is you can click on the first user and hold down the shift key to select a group of users that are next to each other. So if I do a shift and click here, it selects all the users in between. If I want to grab individual users, I would hold down the control key and then click on those users. Alright, and then hit submit to run the report. Okay, so this report is going to go in and let me know how many times a student clicked on a content area. So I can see here basically course information, they've only clicked on it once, and in the learning modules, let me make this bigger, the learning module content area they've clicked 18 times. Okay, so if I scroll down through the list here, I can take a look at a breakdown of what each person has actually clicked on within the content area, and I can see what days they were actually most active in. So if you could kind of scroll down through, you can look through the report and see where the areas were that they actually clicked on, and at the very end you'll always get a total as to how many times they've clicked in all your content areas in your course. Now this is a demo course, so you're not seeing a lot of clicks. Alright, and I'm just going to hit OK and go back into the course now, or the reports again. So at this point I'm going to go into the course activity overview. This area is going to let me know how much time the students have actually spent within the course. So I'm going to go into the report here. Now you'll notice that there is no option in here to select a certain number of students, so it's actually going to grab the activity of all the students within the time that I select here. Okay, so now this report is actually going to go in and tell me what days they're more active on. I can see how many hours that they've spent in the course on those particular days, so I can see that there's more activities with my students on Wednesdays. So that might affect how I go in and set up my due dates within my course. Alright, Then as you scroll down, you're going to see a listing of all your students in here. And normally, if this class was a little bit more active, I would see blue bars telling me how much time they've spent in the course. Now, this particular graph here is actually linked to another report. And that other report is called Student Overview for a Single Course. And if I click on one of the bars for one of my students, it's going to automatically go in and run the other report. And it's going to break down for that particular student what days that they're active in, how many hours they've spent on those particular days. And then it's going to give me basically a drill down of what content they've actually gone into and how much time they've spent in each one of those content areas on those days. So he's not very active, so there's not a big breakdown here. Okay. Alright, so that's kind of replaced the drill down of Angel. Now, the next couple of reports in here, the course coverage report and the course performance report, these require that the student learning outcomes be added as goals within Blackboard. And at this point, this has to be done system-wide, and they have not been added. So there's really nothing that we can align these with within our report. So those right now are not something that we would be using. Now, overall summary of user activities. This will actually give you the dates and times as to when students actually click on different content areas of the course. So if I want to check to make sure my students are checking their grades or checking announcements or messages, things like that, it's going to give me the number of clicks that they've gone in and actually done in those different areas of the course. So I want to go in and run that real quick. And this one actually lets me choose my format and my start and end date, and then what students I want to use. I'm just going to select all the students and submit that. Alright, so this would be a good example if I'm worried about whether the student is actually going in and checking course messages. This is a great way to check. So what this will do is it will actually show me if, let's say for an example, I see this big purple area in this chart. So it's letting me know that my students are very active in going in and checking their grades. If there's other areas, blogs or discussions or rubrics that you want to make sure that they're checking, you can actually go in and see how active they are in the course for that particular course tool. Alright, if you scroll down, it will actually break it down by user in here into each one of the different areas. So if I go in, I want to check to see, I think the announcements are up here, so I can actually go in and see that Joe's actually did check the announcements once, Bruce has checked it 3 times. Okay, I can also see that Bruce has gone in and actually posted to or clicked on 5 different blogs or 5 different times on the blogs. Okay, and then I can scroll down. If I go to the very end, it will give me a total of how many items they've actually clicked on. Now, I would be concerned with Bruce because his number is so high. That would probably tell me that he's looking for stuff and maybe can't find what he's looking for. So you might want to make a little contact with him and say, you know, are you having a tough time navigating the course or finding the information that you're looking for? Okay, so that's the overall summary of user activity within the course. Okay, now the next thing in here is the single course user participation report. Okay, this is actually going to take the information, a report, and take it out to Excel, and it's actually going to give me the dates the students have actually submitted work. So if I go into this particular report, and again I'm going to give them the start date of the course here, and again you'll see that it's going to do it for all the students because it's not asking me for a specific student. Now Windows is going to pop up and ask me if I want to open my data, so I'm going to open it instead of saving it for right now. And I did get some messages with different Excel files, and it wants to know if I want to open it up with the current file format, so I'm just going to say yes. Alright, now I've actually taken a report that I've pulled from an active course so you can see or have a little bit of an idea of how this looks. And I just took the students' names out of it. Okay, so in this report you might have to expand your column list to be able to see the information in the columns by just clicking and dragging the line to the right of the column at the top there. So I can see the last date that they submitted an assignment. So if you have a assignment box where they actually add a Word document or an Excel spreadsheet or something that they're actually submitting work on. So I can see the last day they submitted an assignment. I can see the last day that they actually submitted a test or submitted in a discussion board. And then the last column, last two columns will actually let me know the actual last date that they were active within their course and the total number of times that they've submitted work within the course. So this is a great report, especially when you're looking at census and you want to find out when the last time they were active, especially in an online or hybrid course. Alright, so you can choose to save it if you wanted to use that report for something else. Alright, so that was in a single course user participation report. Alright, now the student overview for a single course, again, that's another way to go in and just look up the participation of one student. So if I go in and run that one, you can only pick one student at a time when you do this, and you would just pick the start date of the course or whenever, how far back you want to go. Alright, now unfortunately all these students in the demo course are not very active, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up a report of an active student in another course. So you can see from this one here, it's telling you how many hours she spent on each one of those days of the week. So I can see that most of the work she's doing is on Saturdays, but she's very busy on the other days in her course. This is unusual. A lot of times you'll see that a student will spend a lot of time, a couple of days a week, a specific couple of days. And I can actually see how many items they went into, how many logins that she had, how many total hours she spent within the course, and then we get that drill down. So on specific days I can see exactly what she clicked on and how much time she spent in each one of these areas in that course. So I can see that she actually went into this area of the course 8 times and spent a little over half an hour in that one area of the course. Okay. Alright, so that was in the student overview for single course. Okay, now user activity. Alright, this particular report will actually let me run a report and find out how often they've actually participated in discussion forums. So if you have any discussions within your course, it's a good report to go in and run. Alright. User activity in groups. Now you would only use this report if you were going to be using group discussions or group tests within your course. If you're not using those types of tools, then you would not have any reports that would be active for that particular type of report. Okay. Okay, now at this point we've gone over all the different reports that you can run in Blackboard within the course report area. For more information, you can visit the e-learning blog at nccelearning.com, and there's a whole section in there about Blackboard resources. So don't forget to go in and check that out.